what should happen into us that those crying and those tears can have more value, can affect us. Because there is a concern here, which is again is a solid concern. You can say, oh, there are a lot of people, they cry for Ahlul Bayt, but when you look at their life, there's no sign into their life that you can call this man or woman a Shia. You know, go out, insult other, God forbid, eat, lie, do things that a follower of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, they don't do it. They don't do, because Imam al-Hussein, he didn't do. He was just even toward his enemies. He was kind toward his enemies, yes. At the last moment of his life, he looked at Shim, he was sitting, and he looked up and told him, just don't do it. I'm going to die either way. Don't ruin this life and also hereafter. So look at this Imam, and sometimes we see among Shias, like it's unfortunate. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us that we can be a true follower of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. But the question here is how we have to look at these tears and shedding tears and crying, that those tears can have more value. So the first question is, what is the reason? Do we have evidence? There's a beautiful ayah, and the story behind this ayah is beautiful also. One group of Christianity, they were Christians, they came to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They came to him, and when the Prophet started reciting for them these beautiful ayahs of Quran, and they were Arabs, they understood the significant, miracle that here the Prophet is reciting for them, they start crying. And this is ayah. وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى الرَّسُولِ تَرَى أَعْيُنَهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ مِمَّا عَرَفُوا مِنَ الْحَقِّ. When they hear the ayat of Quran, which it's revealing to them by Prophet, which is revealed to Prophet, تَرَى أَعْيُنَهُمْ, you see their eyes are full of tears. مِنَ الدَّمْعِ تَرَى أَعْيُنَهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ. The next part will answer our question, first question. Why they're crying? They just cry just for nothing? They just feel crying? No. مِمَّا عَرَفُوا مِنَ الْحَقِّ. Because they're understanding the truth. So in basically the background that they have is a knowledge about the ayats, about the verse. So a tears in Quran, when a tear becomes valuable? When there's arafah, there is ma'rifah. When there is knowledge, when there is understanding behind that tear becomes valuable. That tear can help that person for this life and also the hereafter. We go over some of the riwayats about shedding tears, especially for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Recite the salawat, please. Under this ayah, there is a narration from our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He who has been given knowledge that does not make him weep and cry has not been given knowledge. the knowledge that can benefit him. Whoever can weep, let him weep. And whoever cannot should fill his heart with sorrow and feign weeping, meaning act weeping. You know, sometimes you get a very sad news. What is the normal reaction that you have to have? Huh? A sad news sometimes bring, you know, a person come and brings you a sad news. The first thing, the first reaction is crying. Or even someone maybe can say, oh, I don't usually cry. Here Prophet is saying feign, meaning act, mimic crying, because it's a rational reaction. Even if someone cannot cry, you can see the emotion, you know, all the expression that he has on his face, isn't it? It's a rational, it's a normal reaction. So here the Prophet is saying that if I have a knowledge and I cannot cry about things that I have to, because sometimes we cry for something that it's not, you know, like worldly matters makes us cry. You know, we lose something, you know, or something happens, something bad happened into our life. But a believer, he or she has a good reason to cry, to shed tears. And you know, in some culture, crying is a very bad sign, especially for a man. They would say, man, they don't cry. They raise their children with this. You're a man, you cannot cry, you don't need to cry. But in reality, even in psychology now, they say you have to express your feeling. When you have a good reason to cry, don't hold it. Like here, Prophet ﷺ said, if someone is weeping, let him weep. Don't stop him. Because the same thing that when something funny happens, we laugh. Yes? We laugh. And crying is the same feeling and emotion. And one can cry when there's something, when you have a good reason to cry. So here we have another ayah of Quran in Surah At-Tawbah. In early Islam, Muslims were in a very bad situation. They were very poor. They just moved to Medina, migrated to Medina from Mecca. Bunch of poor people, some of them were slaves, some of them they were very poor. And at the same time, from outside of Medina, from Mecca, from different places, when they saw this group of people, Muslim, new Muslim, they are developing and they're growing in numbers, but they are weak in wealth. Let's just attack now and finish them now. And then it's been recorded in history that Muslims, they didn't have enough swords or arrows or horse or camel to give to their soldiers. Sometimes a war happened, a battle broke, and then people, they come. If you're late, a little bit late, you go to Prophet, to Masjid al-Nabi in Medina. You ask for horse or camel or sword. They would say, I'm sorry, we finished, we're done. So they didn't have enough camel or horse. Some of these Muslims, they used to become very sad just because they cannot go to do jihad, to fight with or beside our beloved Prophet, to help the Prophet. Because it's a cause, you know, the enemy is attacking to you and you have to go fight, you have to go defend yourself, isn't it? Because they're going to come into your city and they're going to take your house, your children, you know, anything can happen war. So here, there are some believers that they want to go to the war, but they don't have enough camel or horses. And here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah At-Tawbah is talking about them. وَلَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ إِذَا مَا أَتَوْكَ لِتَحْمِلَهُمْ قُلْتَ لَا أَجِدُ مَا أَحْمِلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ تَوَلَّوْا. Tell them, for those people that they come to you, and you don't have anything, any camel or horse to give them, tell them that there is nothing for you. So jihad is not wajib for you. I, Prophet, is telling you because of the revelation came that you're free to go. Are they satisfied with this? No. And here Quran is describing وَأَعْيُنَهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمْعِ. Their eyes are full of tears and hazana, and they're sad, they're depressed. Munafiqeen, in the other hand, maybe they were happy. You know, those people that are not real Muslim. But the real Muslim, they would say, we wish that we could go with Prophet. The same will, the same wish. A lot of Shias, at least every year in Muharram, they're always making this wish. What is that wish? يا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. We wish we were there, O Imam, that we could help you. Yes? We can hand you, a water or something. يا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. That we could get benefit from that great success that they had. In reality, the story of Karbala, the tragedy of Karbala, it's all winning. Yeah? Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, what she said at the end in that party was held by Yazid la'natullah alayhi, and he was mocking Ahlul Bayt, and he told Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, he said, did you see what had happened? Now you're good, feeling good, What Bibi Zainab said? Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I have not seen anything but beauty. It's a very beautiful quote. It's but beauty. Everything was like a masterpiece of art. There are a lot of good art. You can, Google it. There is one, he's an Iranian artist, Farishtian. He has several art masterpiece, and you can, some of his art, I'm sure all of you saw some of his art. And just for your information, the Haram of Imam al-Hussein ﷺ was designed by this man. If you go inshallah, new shrine that they chain, the Zarih of Imam al-Hussein, it's designed by him. So it's a masterpiece of art in Karbala. Inshallah, a few nights later, we're going to talk about the way the people of Karbala, the companion of Imam al-Hussein ﷺ, some of them made a huge change in their life within few nights. Some of them one night, some of them few hours before they became shaheed, they made a huge change in their life. And it's a masterpiece. You can find an example for everyone. If you're old, if you're a child, if you are even 6 months, if you're a woman, even if someone is following another religion, there is example in Karbala. There's no tragedy like Karbala. You cannot find in history. Wherever you look, you can get something. Get back to our topic. So you see that we have evidence and proofs from Quran about shedding tears. And we have talked about some of false believes in some cultures that they would say, you don't cry, and crying is, we always hold on. When we want to cry, we don't want to express that feeling, but we want to laugh, express. Especially in the story of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, they ask us to cry. We'll go over some of the riwayats, inshallah. Recite the last salat, please. One day, they came to Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. After the story of Karbala, the tragedy of Karbala, he used to weep a lot. Whenever he was eating, drinking water, anything in his life could reflect Karbala. So it was very hard for him. Imagine. And again, we cannot even imagine because we don't have his heart, his soft and kind heart. Yes? Just even ourselves, if we want to imagine, there is something, the enemy is doing all those things, and you're sick, you cannot go out to protect, and you have to see it. There is no choice. At the same time, the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, you have to see it. Yes, it's a test. If Ibrahim had, even though wasn't this much big, but Ibrahim had too. Other prophets, they had tests too. His test was dealing with that situation. And then after the tragedy of Karbala, what he did, he preached. He changed the direction of history. Yes? They've shaken the palace of Yazid with all those lectures, him and Hazrat Zainab salamun alayha. So they used to come to him and say, come on, finish it. It's like been few years now, and anything happen, someone brings water, someone brings food, eating, anything can reflect about Karbala. What's the deal here? And he says, do not blame me. Because when Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam lost one of his children, Yusuf, he cried so much that his eyes became white. And yet he knew that his child was alive and had not died. But I saw 14 of my family members slaughtered in one morning. And do you want the sorrow and pain which I feel for them to leave my heart? Do you want that? Is it possible? Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, his son, he knew that he is still alive, but he's somewhere. I don't know, but he's somewhere. He's somewhere. He's alive. But again, he cried and cried so much that his eyes became white. The Imam is referring to Yaqub because he wants to make us understand that how much it's a great, this suffering, this musibah is great. You just want to make us understand. So when we look at the sunnah and the tradition of Ahlul Bayt, we see yes, there are a lot of proofs for shedding tears. But again, another question always rings. How we cry. What we can do that our tears become valuable, more valuable. There are a lot of reasons. Anyone can find a reason to shed tears because it's a personal relationship between you and Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam is someone, all Shia, they have a special love toward him. Not only Shias, Christianity, we have Christians, that they really love Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. They give tabarruk for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. They get healed by Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam and Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. So it can be personal relationship between you and Imam. But I give you two reasons that we can reflect on. First is, this musibah is a great suffering for Ahlul Bayt. And as a follower, the first reaction a follower can or should have is shedding tears. And even if I cannot cry for any reason, I should have an expression in my face, on my face. It shouldn't be like, something happened, okay, what's the point? There's something wrong here, because there's something lacking here. Either it's a lack of understanding about the position of Imam, about how much he did, how much I have to take that responsibility, how much I'm good or not, there is lack of understanding first, or some sins, of course. It will harden the heart, some sins. One of them is looking around, not taking care of eyes, things like that. Because when we do things, it affects us. If you do good, it affects good. If you do bad, it affects bad, negative. Yes? Whatever we get, whatever we gain from this world, it affects to our heart. So taking care of tears is one solution to shed tears. And when you shed tears for Abu Abdullah, you feel that there is something new is happening into your heart. Even though you're doing maybe every year, or some people they do more, but there is always a new experience in this. So as narration said, if you don't have tears, you can always have, but if someone cannot cry, just try, have that expression. Because there's a great sorrow for Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. There is a great sorrow and difficulty for the Imam of our time, because read the Ziyarah to Nahiya Muqaddasa, there is a beautiful Ziyarah, especially is recommended in Ziyarah, day of Ashura. The Imam is sometimes talking to you, and he's talking about the suffering and the great difficulties and tests that they went through in the day of Ashura, and how much he has pain, how much he's dealing with this pain, till he, inshallah, everything, the Shia wake up and Muslim wake up, that he can, inshallah, appear. The last point, the second point that we have about the why and how we have to cry, how we should shed tears, is if we are follower of Imam, we have to practice that we can feel that we're part of it. Imagine you're living in a time of an Imam, which we live in, present Imam, and you're Shia, and you're close to Imam, and you can see the expression and the feeling of Imam toward you, how you feel his sorrow become your sorrow, yes? Even though it's not your relative or your close relative or your household, but his sorrow becomes your sorrow, his pain becomes your pain. When we practice this way, there are people, they really feel that they are part of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, or they are part of the cause of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And this way, your reward becomes double. Because in Ziyarat Ashura, what you read? مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. This suffering, this sorrow that they had is the greater sorrow, greater than anything in Islam and the heavens and the earth. Nothing happened that you can compare that tragedy to this tragedy. It's a very special tragedy. And as much as your pain, your reward becomes more and more. That's a fact based on narration. Recite the loud salat, please.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
One narration I will recite, and inshallah.
5 more minutes.
There is a beautiful narration from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
All eyes, any eyes, in the day of judgment will cry. Because it's a big deal, you know, it's the last step, and no one has any time to make up. Yes, all mistakes and whatever we did, that step is the last step. No way to come back or turn or say anything. That's like the last thing. And everyone is waiting, and everyone is shedding tears and cry and, you know, sweat and, you know, waiting for the day of judgment, for the judgment day. I always give this example to people. Just imagine a group of people, and they are in a court, and this judge knows everything, And you know the rule, the law, and he knows everything. He knows everything with proof. No one can say, oh, you know, like fight with that case. No, there's no fighting with the cases. This time, a mom even they don't even pay attention to their children because they're thinking about their case. You know, how about my case? Everyone is looking for themselves. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is saying that all eyes, you know, everyone is crying unless those eyes that they shed tears for Abu Abdullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Those eyes are happy in the day of judgment. Of course, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept anything from anyone unless pious people. That's a fact. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that help us that we can be a true follower of Imam al-Hujjah Ajjallahu ta'ala Farjuh al-Sharif, that we can serve the cause of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, that we can be a Shia that can be a beauty of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. As Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam said, Kunu lana zayna wa la takunu lana shayna. Be a beauty for us, not an embarrassment for us. Recite the loud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Sallallahu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya Mazlum. May Allah's peace and blessing upon you. O oppressed Imam al-Husayn. Sallallahu alayka ya Mazlum. Ya Abu Abdullah. Ya Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwwah. Let's remember Muslim ibn Aqil, the ambassador of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salatu wassalam. After receiving thousand letters, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salatu wassalam had decided to send Muslim ibn Aqil to Kufa to just see the situation, and when you see everything is good, you can send me a letter. Muslim ibn Aqil came to Kufa. they've been said every day 30,000 people, they came to Muslim to pledge allegiance that we're supporting you and Imam al-Hussein. But eventually, the last day of his life, he was praying in the masjid while thousands and thousands people were praying behind him. At the end of his prayer, when he turned to people, there were only few people remain in the masjid. Everyone left them in the city of Kufa. Some of them out of fear, some of them out of wealth. Different reason. He was alone, walking in the city of Kufa, without shelter, without water, knocking on doors to give him shelter, because obviously he knew that the soldier of Ibn Ziyad is gonna come after him. He was just taking time that can he send some letter to Imam al-Hussein that, oh Imam, please don't come to Kufa. These people, they broke their promise. Oh Imam, don't come to Kufa. Harmala is sharpening his arrow. Oh Imam, don't come to Kufa. These people is sharpening their sword. Eventually, a pious lady, old lady, her name was Towa. She saw Muslim ibn Aqil, asked him, oh man, don't you have a house in this city? It's late, it can be dangerous Kufa at night. He said, I'm not from here. She asked him, who are you, man? He responded, I'm the ambassador and I'm the representative of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. She was a believer. She let him in. The last night, he took his time, pray and worship and recite Quran. Tomorrow, they brought the news to Ibn Ziyad by the son of this old pious lady. He betrayed his mom. They came after him outside the house of the old lady. He had a brave fight with a lot of soldiers and eventually they arrested him. Last thing I want to share, and inshallah tomorrow, at the palace of Ibn Ziyad, they brought him water. The first glass of water, when he was supposed to drink it, when he looked at the water became bloody because his mouth was full of blood. He couldn't drink even though he was thirsty. Imagine if someone is injured and he lost a lot of blood. You feel a great deal of thirst. Muslim ibn Aqil was thirsty. 3 times they changed the glass of water. They brought him again and again. And then he couldn't drink a glass of water. Maybe everyone in the story of Karbala should become shaheed while their mouth was thirsty. Allah la'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimin. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. بنبی سید مرا یار ابا عبدالله، اولین بنده در بار ابا عبدالله، منتظر مانده دیدار ابا عبدالله. من کجا و سر بازار ابا عبدالله. حسین 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 یا 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 حسین.
This Marcia is Noha and Marcia. When the Muslim Aqil was murmuring with himself, Hussein Jan, Hussein Jan, manam safir ishq to. Hussein Jan, Hussein Jan, manam safir ishq to. Hussein Jan, Hussein Jan, شدم اسیر عشق تو. ای امیرم شده بی کسی کوفه تقدیرم، دم آخری که تشنه میمیرم، به لبم حسین حسین دم میگیرم. ای امیرم شده بی کسی کوفه تقدیرم، دم آخری که تشنه میمیرم، به لبم حسین حسین دم میگیرم. قسم میدهم تو را جان مادرت زهرا، کوفه نیا کوفه نیا کوفه نیا کوفه نیا کوفه نیا. همانها که اینجا برای بدعهد پیوستن، شبانه به خانه رحم ندادن در بستن. همانها که اینجا برای برعهد پیوستن، شبانه به خانه رحم ندادم در بستم. کن نگاهم کن نگاهم که حلالیت ز زینب میخواهم، نامه ای که دادم شد گناهم، تو شدی آواره و من رو سیاهم. شرمنده ام یا مولا، شرمنده ام یا مولا، جان مادرت زهرا کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا. Everybody.
کوفه نیا،
کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا. به هر سو زدم رو چنان شرر زد جانم را که بردن سپردن به دشمنم فلانم را. خسته حالم، خسته حالم، به شهادت به راحت می بادم، ولی این چنین اگر که می نالم، به خدا فقط به فکر گودالم. تا نشدی سر جدا جان مادرت زهرا کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا. حسین جان، حسین جان، منم سفیر عشق تو. حسین جان، حسین جان، شدم اسیر عشق تو. ای امیرم شده بی کسی کوفه تفسیرم، دم آخری که تشنه می میرم، به لبم حسین حسین دم میگیرم. قسم میدهم تو را جان مادرت زهرا کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا، کوفه نیا. چون میسر نشود فرصت دیدار شما، چون میسر نشود فرصت دیدار شما، ما که رفتیم خدا نگهدار شما، ما که رفتیم خدا نگهدار شما. نامتان روی علم بود و ز دستم به فتاد، نامتان روی علم بود و ز دستم به فتاد. کاش بردارد ازش خاک علم دار شما، کاش برداردش از خاک علم دار شما. خسته بودم اگرم دست به دیواری رفت، خسته بودم اگرم دست به دیواری رفت، ورنه تکیه نکنم سر دیوار شما، ورنه تکیه نکنم سر دیوار شما. باد هم از نفس افتاده و یاری نکند، باد هم از نفس افتاده و یاری نکند، شرح حالی دهد از پیک سر دار به شما، شرح حالی دهد از پیک سر دار به شما. جان آقا نکند تشنه بیایی اینجا، آب هم نیست در این شهر طرفدار شما، آب هم نیست در این شهر طرفدار شما. آخرین جمله دل داده تان خواهشی هست، آخرین جمله دل داده تان خواهشی هست، بازگردید خدا نگهدار شما، بازگردین خداوند نگهدارشون. حسین شهید، حسین شهید، حسین غریب، حسین مظلوم.
یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین.
The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent does now arrive, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent does now arrive, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. Betrayal by the coffins, set this moon on its course, calling out for their guide. Treachery with no remorse, Islam and his sons. What a tragedy! Oh, what calamity! The moon bleeds to foresee. The moon bleeds to foresee. The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent has now arrived, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. On the ninth it heard the prayers of those pure souls, fought the rising sun for. Perhaps this could be its role. Akbar's are dawn so clear. This moon's filled with fear. How will it possibly arise and see the state of those dear? And see the state of those dear. Moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent has now arrived, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. It saw the 6-month infant, no water but an arrow. That night shone its light on Rabah, filled with such sorrow. To see my eyes that I crave, I hear nothing but its cries. Oh son, please do not arise. And with this mother sympathize, and with this mother sympathize. The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent has now arrived, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. Witness the trampling on Sham Wahadi. Saw that night the terror, bodies scattered off for tents loaded it on fire. Earrings snatched from Rokaya. This moon also in such pain. This household bound in chains. This household bound in chains. The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent has now arrived, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala.
From this month my baby had to wander veilless. Zahra's grave is restless for her daughter princess, the cloak of purity. For this mother so holy, the beloved of Fatima, paraded in the bazaar, paraded in the bazaar. The moon of Muharram, times of sadness have come. The crescent does not arrive, casting gloom on Karbala, casting gloom on Karbala. So
After I say Mahlan Mahla, you guys will say Hussein. And Yabna Zahra Hussein. Please recite aloud salawat. کمی آهسته تر به کجا می روی کمی آهسته تر به کجا می روی بدون زینبت تو چرا می روی مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا دل من اسیره دامگی سوی تو دل من اسیره دامگی سوی تو تپش های دلم نام نیکوی تو تپش های دلم نام نیکوی تو به زخم دل من یا اخا مرهمی به زخم دل من یا اخا مرهمی پس از تو برایم بود اگر محرمی مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا به جای مادرم آمدم به سویت به جای مادرم آمدم به سویت تا زنم یا اخا بوسه بر گلویت تا زنم یا اخا بوسه بر گلویت خدا همراه تو روی کربلا خدا همراه تو روی کربلا وعده ملاقات از سر نیزگاه وعده ملاقات از سر نیزگاه مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا کمی آهسته تر به کجا می روی بدون زینبت تو چرا می روی دل من اسیره جامگی سوی تو تپش های دلم نام نیکوی تو و زخم دل من یا اخا مرهمی و زخم دل من یا اخا مرهمی پس از تو برایم بود اگر محرمی مهلا مهلا یبن زهرا یبن زهرا خدا همراهتون تو نبی کربلا وعده ملاقات از سر نیزگا مهلا مهلا یا ابن الزهرا یا ابن الزهرا یا ابن الزهرا محمد و آل محمد
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا خير خلق الله، السلام عليك يا علي بن أبي طالب وصي رسول الله، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان يا بقية الله يا إمام الإنس والجن، عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل الله تعالى مخرجه وجعلنا من خير أنصاره وأعوانه والمستشهدين بين يديه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على محمد.
Please recite Surah Al-Hamd for all our Maradah, for Hamd al-Shifa, especially for Muslims in different countries that they are suffering, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria, Palestine. Recite the Surah Al-Hamd, please.